Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're going to be reacting to episode 11 of Katanagatari, getting very close to that pointy end of, I was going to say the first season, but of the show. We're almost done here. The penultimate episode, some may say. And yeah, very excited to be here. I think we're just going to, jump right into it. Where are my YouTube comments? There they are. I've got two. Hello, two YouTube comments. Yeah, today's got a bit of a different feel. It's later in the day. I've worked all day. I've got a small slot to watch the episode, and then I'll kind of analyze it and do my second half tomorrow. That's my plan as it stands right now. And yeah, I'm just trying to get the ball rolling on that. So let's be honest here, I can stop and go eat something, go to bed because I'm tired. But anyway, Hot Wheels Kid, first comment here. Jisho is the GOAT. Yes, it most certainly is. That's the website I've been using for the translations. If it's all accurate, then yeah, it's doing a great job for sure. Kind of implying a little bit of the further meaning of the kanji is specifically what I've been using it for, specifically with Nisio Isin and his naming conventions. It definitely helps in that regard for sure. But yeah, it's quite handy. You can type in English, Romanji, Hiragana, Katakana, Kanji. It all just comes up and gives you what you want to see most of the time. Also, it's in dark mode, so it doesn't burn my eyes, which is very cool. But yeah, it was a fun episode, episode 10 for sure. Probably even better. So I'll do the initial watch. I'll do a rewatch in the analysis. I liked it even more after editing it. I found more and more stuff that I liked a lot. Then helped the episode just feel really good. It probably helped that I recorded that analysis segment 1.5 times as well, which probably helped with my understanding of the episode for sure. Yeah, I would imagine we're having more somber-ish moments as we're continuing to, and yes, there most certainly is only 2 episodes left. Next comment here, Ice CP. We're nearing the series ending. Any predictions on how it'll end? Any idea of what Nisio is planning, which is a fruitless endeavor? What would be the ideal ending for you? Listen. It's pretty broad. It's a broad question. I'll give you the cliff notes right now. I think that there is going to be some kind of conflict arising between Togami and Shichika. If I had to structure it, I would say that this episode we're dealing with Dr. Meki, whatever the poison sword with Ho-Oh. We're dealing with all that. But then in the last probably 15-20 minutes, or maybe sprinkled throughout the episode, we get a little bit of Ento Ju stuff and kind of really set up that final confrontation with Haite. Then I think we wipe Haite out pretty quickly. There's revelations that have been implied about Haite and her origins as well, especially her similarities between her and Togame, in that their origins are obfuscated, in that they're hiding where they come from. There will be a fight. The opening has a fight between Amon Zaimon and Chichika. I would imagine that happens, and a kind of battle of wits to accompany it with the other halves of those duos. Specifically, the ending and the framing of the conflict, I think once she's got all the swords, that being Togame, right, it's going to become like, okay, now that we know that Shichika is also one of Kiki's swords, is whatever happens with the swords going to involve him as well? Is it I'm going to sacrifice you? Is Shichika okay with that? Does Togame then have second thoughts? I don't know. Everybody seems to want the swords. There was some implications before about General Q and how he didn't grab one of the swords as well, which may imply some other stuff as well. There's some stuff cooking, and I could be completely wrong, because again, the entire show is almost building up to a conflict between Shichika and Togame. I don't think that's a huge, bold prediction. But yeah, it's just going to be the how and why of it. I think I know who's involved and where it may be. But anyway, we've only got like, what, 140 hour 40 left of content, so there's not much kind of predicting left to do. It's just kind of let it happen time. And speaking of let it happen time, I think I'm just gonna jump into the episode. We're chasing down Ho-Oh. He may have fucking shanked the shit out of Penguin. That's about where we stand right now. So chill stuff. So if you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation. representation, comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord. Join Discord, love Discord, Discord. And yeah, we're jumping into episode 11. Episode 11 of Katanagatari right now. Rightio, I have episode 11 up there ready to go. 49 minutes and 49 seconds on that one, so please sync up accordingly. As always, there will be a picture-in-picture version provided and using the GSK-kun subs. And yeah, I'm just going to jump right in and give it a 3, 2, 1. Radio? 3, 2, 1, go. Ugh. Okay, is this a flashback? Yeah. It's already edited very differently. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Talk to me. Who are you? The Way of the Sword. Okay, just shit on my life, why don't you? Yeah, you're right. Literally. Yeah. I've got a feeling about who these people are, but I'll hold judgment. That's a great reason, yeah. Okay. Based, maybe? Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I think it's particularly famous swordsmith. And then, yeah, I'm imagining this is the origins of Kyotoru. Yeah, Yasuri. Yeah, that's the family name there. Cool. I'm more interested in the history line because that was from last episode too. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, narrator. That is who I thought those people were, by the way. I'm smart, by the way. Yeah, interesting. I didn't think we'd go full on like almost anime tropey. Like this time in the story, you would do a flashback. Again, the one I always go back to is Madoka, right? where you learn the origins of a character, and it explains a lot of things, and it's a great episode. And it happened at about episode 10 in a 12 episode structure. This is technically a 24 episode structure, and it's happening around now. Makes sense. There's probably a name for it, like that piece of context being revealed leading into the climax of a story. There's probably a trope for it. But yeah, what was his name? Togame's father, I've forgotten his name again. He was all about history, and for the sake of history, I need to do this, right? And I theorized last week that it was something about him inciting a rebellion so his castle got burnt down so one of the swords was accessible. Which is fucked, if you think about it. And then putting all of his hopes in Togame for the sake of history. And Kiki, an obsession with history. And yeah, Dr. Meki. Gotcha. Oh, I remember. I'm not going to do it for everybody, but I do remember. I like this song. It's a very different vibe. Yeah, 10 swords, 10 months. Yeah, and it's just like us too. That's pretty impressive. Okay, taking a lot of the credit. Sometimes. No, I think she's helpful. I'm gonna give Togami a break. Yeah. Interesting. Whatever you say. I can't help but think the opposite may be true. What a good omen. Only good things are going to happen in these next two episodes, I'm sure. End of the journey does not mean goodbye, my friend. Okay, what are we doing, princess? Ooh. Wait, but we didn't get details. I remember Amon Zaimon didn't get a name, but could he have implied? Okay, it's personal, gotcha. What do you mean? That was kind of underwhelming. She just kind of chucked it a sign or something. Okay, are we flashing back now? Yeah. I mean, I got a pretty good feeling about what's happening here. Amon Zaimon, though. He does have a sword. Sorda? I didn't know you had another name. Not Penguin. I'm sure he does. Let me just... Sure, you're talking a big game. Wow. Please explain. Again, this has been heavily teased. What's wrong with the name? Okay, he's using a fake name, true. Okay. I'm built different. I wonder what his move is. Yeah, good point. We know that. Well, that's very on the nose. Okay, do you have other moves? Alright, they're having a ninja off. That's good. Me and all my ninja friends do this quite often. Yeah, they're just cool. Okay. Kunais and shurikens. Okay. Tactical genius penguin. Okay. Are you implying that Ho is also what the fuck? Is also from your gang? From your clan? Yeah, he's very good. Ah, kiss. Kiss, 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 kiss. Okay, true. What are they doing now? They're just having like Dragon Ball Z fight. Huh? That was a mistake. Well, the sword's finally unsheathed, right? What did it just do to his arm? Did you see that? Well, I mean, his hand is already the dude's hand, right? He just drank a monster energy? What happened? Yeah, bro, now he's crazy as fuck. Whoa! That's great! Now, Penguin, you're next. Yeah, okay. Gotcha. So my prediction from last week, pretty on point. And now we're back here. Gotcha. So even that scene before with Shichika and Togame was a flashback, kind of, to now a current day. Gotcha. What a hero. We love Penguin. That's my boy. That's my dog. Okay. Iga? Oh, he's cool. Look at his hair. The sword has some poison on it. Okay. Skip ahead. Hmm. Why would he lie? I agree with that, though. Okay. Yeah, he's got a stupid gimmick. Of course he's part of the squad. Really? What does he do? Well, shit. That's my boy Penguin. I want to see it in action. Oh yeah, when you were like mates with the Maniwa, I remember that. Yes, ma'am. Right away. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Interesting shot. Apologies. Yeah, but like, I mean, some food would be nice. That's pretty it's pretty brutal. No, but he's cool. Okay. Very mature from Togame. Mm-hmm. Ah, what do you want? What is that? Does she wear like braces or something? Or shoulders? Does she have shoulders? I don't know. It's weird. How'd you get that letter? Might, yeah, okay. Okay. What do you mean by that? What is going on? Okay, that was fucking weird as fuck. My ancestor? It is. Mm. Mm-hmm. True. I know, I followed it on a map. Yeah, you two should do like a meet cute and go around and, travel the country. Yeah, sometimes. Cool. Yeah, you're saying like, I'm one day from retirement speech, which means something bad's gonna happen soon. Okay, so you're figuring it out. Maybe that gun that we were unsure about. That is very logical. Because she doesn't like us very much. Yep. She's actually way more real than that. Yeah, this is just, we've just been warming up. We're ready to go. She basically said it's on site. Okay, cool. But also, like, something bad's gonna happen, like, soon. You can just feel it. I don't know. What does the end of your journey entail? As a sword? Or as a human? Okay, you want to be nice. I can almost guarantee that to be the fact. That to be the case. Alright, this seems pretty genuine, though. Okay, we're bringing it up, and she doesn't care. Okay, very mature take. And you killed him. Yeah. You did me a solid. Well, kinda. Well, you don't really have any family left. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you keep saying that. What does that mean? And the music's not telling me to feel happy either. It's almost tragic. I'm intrigued. I want to know what's going to happen now. End of everything. Okay, the narrator knows some shit too. That background's cool too. Alright. What are we doing, gang? Oh, look at this shonen shit. Hell yeah. Yeah, he's an evil, evil bloke. Sorry what you go, yo. Oh. Okay, that's fucking weird too. What do you mean by poison? Is that really the case? Oh shit. Imagine breaking his legs. That'd be so funny. That was Komori. He just says shit. Interesting. I'd never thought about it like that. Ah! Well, it's technically because of you. Hmm. Okay, but I'm keen to see what you're gonna do, Penguin. Shoot the penguin. Okay. Now what? Yo, he's got a like a protection against the projectiles. He's got like a shield or something. Wait, he's got luck? That's his ability? He's so cool. This framing too is really fun. Well, don't let him get too close. Yeah. I don't. Please tell me. GQ? Is it like a number? Isn't that 19? What do you mean by that? What are you doing? If I just shoot in every direction, I can't miss. Yeah, I mean, it worked. That's so funny. Yo, Amon Simon's cool. How did you do that? Oh, that's why he shot 2. What the fuck? Yo, you got shit on. Holy fuck. Oh, shit. Holy fuck. Are you serious? Oh, shit. Not my boy. There's no way. Alright, where's Hor? I can't believe they killed my boy. Okay. Yeah, looks like a great place. I mean, we did abandon it, right? Hmm. Oh, shit. So he went back and did this. Yo. Yo, this show got fucking violent all of a sudden. How's it going, bud? What you doing? What do you mean by... What are you saying? Nah, it's normal. What are you trying to do? I'm not sure he's... Yeah. What? Oh, shit, yeah, of course, right, yeah. Now I remember. We did imply that before. Yeah, no, you can tell it by the voice, too. The voice is different. Well, it's very mental. It's very strategic. So that's what Haite was talking about in that scene before. Gotcha. Well, yeah. But what do you mean by that? You're stealing my content, but yeah. Gotcha. I see. Yeah, kind of. He did? Yeah. Get predicted. Okay. Sure. Well, that's very hard to fight against, right? Because you already know what's going to happen. I agree that it is vague. He's just magic. He's got magic. It's fine. It does, now that you say it. Yeah, explain as well. I feel like that was a Japanese joke. What? What are you talking about? Oh, that explains gun. That makes sense. Okay. Also, Togami's cracked. How did she figure this out? My next sword will be a drone. Drone strike sword. Interesting. And that's where the soothsayer kind of angle comes in. What, to falsify history? I agree. Huh? So this is this is the like time traveling rebellion? Well, that's some stuff with the dad, right? What the fuck? How did he know? What do you mean? Kinda. This is an insane twist, by the way. Well, yeah. Yeah, we knew this. Does that mean he's from the future? I don't know about that from the scene we saw before. And what does this mean? What does this imply about Haite as well? Oh shit. This is fucking insane. Me neither, really. What do you mean? It just got interesting. Alright. Are we gonna fight? Oh shit. Future sword tech? Well, we beat him. But what's the whole angle here, right? Because we still have to satisfy the stuff with him and Amon Zaimon. Alright, he's gonna do some meme shit. Gotcha. I love his voice. Oh, he said the line. Yeah, try doing that some more. It might work. This is what the that fight was so weird. Oh, flower moment. Oh, think about it. It's a metaphor. What did you say about Shichiko? Sorry, I was focused on something else. He's alright. He's still kicking for now. I don't think you understand it. You haven't landed a blow. He seems pretty happy about it. I don't know. Okay. And that was the Kai version that he perfected with when he killed his sister. That seems like it worked though. But what does all this mean? Alright. We killed him. But that didn't really help it. We just killed Hor. Me neither. Yes, what was his memories? He knew too much. It made too much sense. Well, I got some bad news about the penguin guy. True. Okay. Yeah. I'm sympathetic. He was a good boy. I liked that guy. Did you only know what you know? Sorry, couldn't resist. Yeah, it was a little bit wistful for Tokame. It wasn't very much like her. I remember this. Yeah, she gets shot. I saw this in the preview. Yeah, okay, we're like right here. Yeah, Amon Zaimon shows up and tries to shoot her. I remember. So what? How long do we? Yeah, not long. This episode fucking flew by too. I mean, I got some bad feelings, but I mean, hold her hand. It's a good idea. Yeah, this is very Monogatari. Again, if you know, you know. Yeah, this is some. Again, this is my last day before retirement speech. I got a bad feeling here. Whatever you say, Togame. He's just happy. Look, they're a bunch of cuties. No one will break them up, ever. Here he comes. It's the fucking Terminator. What do you mean by political? I don't think he's going to be very political about this. Thanks. Thanks for giving me the swords, bozo. Kinda. Alright. So you didn't learn that. What does that mean? There was a translation there. Princess Yorsha? Oh, yeah, I mean, she did get shot. That's pretty bad. I kind of needed her alive. Oh, I love his eyes there. Yeah. Okay, a bit of a cliffhanger. And he's gonna go like berserk. Okay, sure. That's a very interesting preview last week. Like it legit showed the big kicker of this episode, right? I don't know if I would have done that. Because it kind of undercut the moment. I'm like, okay, so well, something's gonna happen here, right? And then nothing happened. I'm like, oh shit, fuck, she got shot. That's fucked. Anyway, Princess Haite, huh? Something about soothsayers. Something about descending from the same line as Shikazaki Kiki, and about this kind of like meta war between altering history and keeping history the same, and like these swords being brought back. Is all that shit real? Or was he fucking mental? Or was like he just going like cuckoo bananas, that being whore? I guess all will be revealed. I don't understand why you would build the show the way you would if that wasn't real. Oh, I love the tempo of this. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Also, yeah, we didn't really dive into that Amon Zymon Ho-Oh stuff very much. I guess they're friends? I was expecting like a bit more of a clear like, oh, he used to be part of this clan or this clan. And maybe there wasn't, I just missed it. Snake? Snake at Shrine? Yo. Okay, what the fuck is happening next episode? Look at him go. He's so cool. Who are all these freaks? What am I looking at? Are you sure there isn't another season for me to watch? Gun. Yeah, what the fuck? That preview is mental too. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that was interesting. It wasn't what I expected at all. That's kind of fucked up. We'll talk about this in greater detail tomorrow. I'll see you then. Thank you for watching for now. But Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. A lot. Hello, gamers. Disclaimer about this next section. Something went wrong with the recording, and the whole thing sounds like shit. It sounds like horse shit. So if you're not okay with that, which is completely fine, then I would just click off the video now. If you are okay with that, then I guess it is listenable. You can listen to it, and yeah, this has taught me to do audio tests for all my videos now. So it should not happen again. That's going to be my goal here. Apologies. I know the episode itself is really awesome, and I think, for the record, the content that I recorded for it is really good. It just sounds bad. So again, fully understand if you don't want to watch it, but yeah, just thought I'd put the disclaimer out here. Radio, thanks, and enjoy the next segment if you can. And we're back the next day. Katanagatari episode 11. That was some crazy shit. That went in some crazy directions. Yeah, holy fuck. We're gonna go into all of that, but again, before we do any of it, got a little bit of jishort to do, a little bit of some word searches, some terms that were interesting from last episode. Starting obviously with Dr. Meki, the title of the episode and the title of the sword featured, the sword that is corrupted Ho'o and whatever else happened there. We're going to find out again. We're going to rewatch it. We're going to go in there with an open mind, and we're going to figure out what the hell's doing on. Anyway, Dokuto. This is the first one here, made up of two kanji. This is pretty standard at this point. One meaning poison, so the sword being translated as Guilt the Venomous or something like that. Guilt the Poisonous, maybe. There's where your poison comes from. That's the sword that's always part of one of the titles of the swords in the show. Next we have Meki, which is like, you like gilt a weapon, right? Plating, gilding, right? So I think this speaks to maybe the sword's outward appearance is different to what it is on the inside, which is a vehicle to have Kiki possess you, kind of. I'm thinking, yeah, like we're plating this weapon with something, right? We're covering it in something else, when in reality it's a sword that makes the memories of somebody take over you. Hence why it's the most venomous sword. I guess we can also speak to, like, the most venomous sword in the show, the most, like, the one with the most danger is the one that literally involves Kiki the most. Does that speak to his nature a little bit more? Poisonous, inherently poisonous? Is he poisoning history even? Again, we'll talk about it. It's some crazy shit. Speaking of Shikazaki Kiki, we've got his name up here next, which is it's an absolute doozy, right? Starting off with Shikazaki. I've got it kind of split into two here, which I'm imagining is how we're doing it elsewhere as well. The first one's pretty easy. 4 seasons, right? That's what the first part of the thing means. That's what Shiki means in this, right? So shi, 4. Ki here, obviously this kanji, meaning seasons. 4 seasons. Okay. Makes a lot of sense with the themes of the show. So think about it. 12 episodes, 12 months. In those 12 months, you've got 4 seasons. A lot of the show has been about weather and even flowers and stuff. And, the seasons potentially impacting when these flowers bloom and whatever that blooming may mean, and perfecting a sword and all this other jazz that we'll talk about towards the end of the episode with what Amon Zaimon says there. So that's all well and good. 4 seasons. Second half of it, you got like a saki. That's what we're thinking it as, right? So if we click onto this, right, it's more about like maps. It's like a cape on a coast or something, or like a small peninsula. So I mean, they were talking about maps this episode and kind of deviating out from the regular coastline, I guess. That's all I got there. Listen, his name involves the 4 seasons and the coastline. It's a bit of a weird one, again. But then we get on to Kiki, right? And this one's very direct. I don't know what this is, but the Kojiki and Nihon Shoki, the earliest historical records of Japan. What if I just Googled that? Compromises the oldest official history of Japan, covering the period from its mythical origins to 6... Okay, sure, fucking weird. So either way, you apply that to Kiki as a person and his opinions around history and his family's involvement in history and all that kind of shit, and that makes a lot of sense too, right? My name is literally comprised of one of the earliest historical records, and now I'm off kind of messing with history in a weird way. Also, Togame is cracked how she figures out like all this shit and basically just says it to him. She's fucking mental. She's crazy. And again, I don't have much else here. Like, I've got the map here. It said we were going to a village in Iga, right? I found Iga here, right? There. Hello. But that seems way too south, no? Because again, we were up here earlier, right? Earlier, like last episode, right? Did we really travel this far? That seems like a long way. Past Nagoya, which is Owari, right? I guess we kind of moved from Iga, which was down here somewhere, up to here pretty quickly. I don't know. It's a weird one. I'm sure there may be other places. Because that abandoned village, so maybe it's not the literal place that it is there. I don't know. Japanese history is weird. I hardly know my own country's history. I'm not going to attempt to do too much there. That's kind of crazy. Anyway, I should get the episode up. We'll go back through it and see what the insane person known as Nisio Isin has come up with here. So yeah, we start with a flashback several hundred years ago during the Sengoku era. There is some kind of massive war occurring between warring states. I don't know. Again, bad at this history thing. So again, war going on in the background. We just have Yasuri, I forget his other name, just kind of training here. So yeah, this person trying to follow the way of the sword, right? Clearly using a sword at the moment here. The sword not slipping out of his hands like it's a bar of soap. So is not infected with whatever the hell is going on over here yet. But yeah, we're just going to berate this kid. No muscle, no form, no talent for the way of the sword. So I don't know what the context is here, but for some reason you're going out of your way to visit this young child and berate him about his use of the sword. We talk a lot here about from perfection to completion, accompanied with a creepy smile from Kiki. So like, again, completion is when Shichika is complete by the end of the episode as well. Is he seeing even that now? I don't know. So we continue our teasing tirade here and try to say, hey, by the time you get perfect or whatever, but at the time you've trained up to completion, the war will be over, right? And again, this doesn't interest Yasuri right now. The only thing that interests me is honing my own skills. The country may be at war or peace, but my path will never change in that respect. Yo, you know what I was just thinking about too? The isolation of Shichika's father, right? Why did he isolate himself like that? And Hida Takahito and like that, almost like destiny to that. There's going to be some like crazy shit next episode too. Like there has to be, like involving that. Yo, like who isolated him like that? Who didn't want this to happen, you know? So Yasuri here, no interest in the world. Kiki is aligned in that belief, no interest in the rest of the world. You're operating at another level. Okay, you're super focused on the sword, that's fine. You're operating at another level, right? You're like seeing future and shit and manipulating things, and as a result this is child's play and you don't really care. In that way, I'm kind of fighting history itself. If you look at the world and everything in it from the perspective of history, all you'll see is the surface of it. Is that your overall goal, to try to dive a little bit deeper? So again, talking about completion, talking about the raw materials involved and a shot lingering on Yasuri, right? And here's the kicker, right? So I'm going to take all that passionate effort of yours, your commitment to the sword and your commitment to almost be a sword and not care about anything else outside of you, the human element almost, right? And make it blossom into flowers. So yeah, hey, I'm going to give you Kyotoru or whatever the hell. I don't know. And then that's going to blossom over years and years and generations to its point of completion later on, which is your ultimate plan. Of course, whether or not the roots also grow will be entirely up to you. The roots of the flowers, which could be seen as the next generation, maybe? So cool, that's your intro scene there, right? And by the end of that, the narrator says, hey, this is Kiki and the first Kyotoru, so you kind of get... It was pretty obvious at points, I thought, that was the case, but I like that the narrator confirmed it. We start this next portion of the episode by looking at all the different swords that we've seen in the journey so far. And honestly, a little bit of a weird scene here. So if we're placing this timeline-wise, this is before we see Penguin on the road, right? So we're almost going back from the end of last episode. And this takes on more of a slice-of-lifey tone, just try to catch us all up and introduce concepts and that kind of thing. Feeling pretty accomplished at this point, having collected 10 swords in 10 months, better than General Q ever did in a shorter period of time. We're at a pretty good pace, despite what Shichika says. Shichika continues to be kind of stupid, but kind of sneak disses Togame as he's doing it. Like, did you really even do anything? We kind of took most of them by force. Like, were your strategies even good? And I would argue, yes, her strategies were. You got to pay more attention, big dog. And a lot of the episode is like, oh, this is a really like good omen, right? I kept saying during the reaction, like it's like the we're one day away from retirement speech that characters make before they die or something tragic happens, right? Stuff like this. Stuff like you could almost say confession, right? I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I want to continue this even after we're done with our journey. We're going to have another ambitious goal, making this map of Japan, right? And kind of following the coastline there. Coastline, think about it. Like, yeah, we've got this plan that is going to go ahead for sure. But again, the media savvy person in me goes, hey, we've got like another 90 minutes of content. So no, that's not what's going to happen. And from the preview, it looks like we're almost going some corruption areas where kind of Shichika's just going to go nuts. Like, I don't know if Togame's going to survive. I hope so. I hope by some divine miracle she does. But yeah, you just get bad kind of feelings when you see this kind of stuff, especially leading into the climax. There's some element of irony to it for sure. Shichika almost gets melancholic when he realizes that it's almost the end of the journey, kind of influencing maybe Togame to do a speech, which is a bit more like here in the episode. Also, the leaves are changing color again. We're almost back to that autumn or spring when we first met. So we met in January. Did we meet in January? I forget. I remember looking this up, but I'm imagining this is late autumn leading into like winter, right? We're gonna get cold again, maybe. So it was unclear last episode what Amon Zaimon actually heard when he overheard the conversation. Clearly he heard the right things because he was able to imply that she is the daughter of Hida Takahito, right? Which is an important plot thing for you. Now you know who she is and can manipulate things accordingly, right? Especially considering what you've lampshaded pretty heavily as your origins, being related to Kiki, right? Think about it. So, like, you would be opposed to Hida Takahito. That would make sense, right? Like, because Hida Takahito is trying to preserve history for the sake of history, for the sake of things being correct, right? Where, again, I don't know Kiki's goals in all of this, but he clearly wants Kyotoru to be the ultimate weapon or whatever and activate him, like whatever that means, involving this overall conflict in the show between his humanity and his utility as a sword, that being Shichika. Yeah, I understand why this is a bigger reveal now that you found out that she's the daughter of Hida Takahito, right? That's important for you, right? And kind of explains why the two of you have always been at odds, even almost on a like destiny level, right? There's not even like a personal element to it. It's just these are the things that are meant to be. It's meant to be this way. I hate you from the bottom of my heart, even besides everything else. Like, again, almost this destiny element. That's really cool. I like that. I didn't want to end things like this. I truly can't stand your carelessness. Does this involve the end of the episode where she's like, shit, I didn't want to have to do this to you like this. I didn't want to like sick Amon Zaimon on you, but I did. Either way, that's weird, right? But then we get the scene with Ho'o and Penguin, right? They're on their way to Oshu, where we were last episode, I believe. Yeah, that makes sense. Because they were on their way there, and then they get ambushed by Amon Zaimon. And it's like, hey, Amon Zaimon, there's some kind of relationship here between you two. Correct me if I'm wrong. So his full name is Soda Amon Zaimon as well, so that's fucking weird too. So Ho'o kind of poo-poos his attempt to intimidate them, right? Says ninjas only live and die, that's all. Nothing about you has changed at all, Ho'o. Again, I'm imagining these guys used to be friends. I'm thinking that's the relationship. I thought it was maybe deeper than that. That maybe there was some kind of like thing where Ho'o used to be from the same clan that you were, but that clan died out ages ago, which is fucking weird. But again, if we're bringing weapons from different time periods, then wouldn't that make sense? I don't know, this is just fucking weird. I still don't really understand this part of it very much. Ho'o continues to call him out here. If you really are who I think you are, then you should use your real name, stand up and announce it with pride. And it's like, no, I've forgotten that. Like, this is my real new name is sorta Amon Zaimon, right? I'm gonna keep that name. We tell Penguin to stand back. He can't use his Nimpo in a location like this. If we think about it later on, his Nimpo works really well in a room where things can bounce off other things. In a forest, maybe not as much. Amon Zaimon here says that, of course, his skills are up to par with Ho'o's. Like, almost like they're very similar, which again gave me some other feelings. Like, there was a point in this episode where I'm like, oh, they're like the same person from different time zones or whatever the fuck. I'm like, well, that's crazy. But are they just mates? I don't really get it. I don't know. We're going to continue to watch. Maybe I missed something during the reaction. So just had a bit of a read, right? So I think Amon Zaimon and his backstory with the fucking aioli ninja core, whatever the hell. I say aioli, I know it's aoi, but aioli sounds funnier. Garlic mayo ninja core, right? That happened 170 years ago. And you're really the only one that has knowledge of this core even existing, because they were wiped out by the Maniwa, right? So of course you would want to wipe out the Maniwa head at the moment. That would make sense. That gives Amon Zaimon motivation here, right? I think that's where you're bemused. How can this be? How can you know these techniques when the core was wiped out 170 years ago? How does that make sense? Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, but I think that's why you're bemused. That's why you're like, "Hey, you can't be the person where I think you are this person, right? Because that you died ages ago." But then we've got Shikazaki Kiki and the soothsayers and some time manipulation stuff, which is kind of crazy. I think that's it. I think. And yeah, they kind of just have a ninja off here with a whole bunch of shuriken and kunais and stuff. Oh, this is interesting too. So the Nimpo Danzayan, which is used by Ho'o, was originally this one that was actually part of the Aoi clan, right? Namagoroshi. Sure. So again, some knowledge of these techniques, some knowledge of that clan. I know this technique very well because you essentially copied our techniques when you wiped us out. How does this then involve the history theme in the rest of the show and what was meant to happen there? I don't know. So it was originally called Namagoroshi. Now I call it Shinobazoho Ikasazu Korosazu. I'm not going to attempt that again, but it means no sneaking, no sparring, no killing. Yeah, it was this line. Like, what does this mean? Because you are me? Well, is this literal? Because I've literally gotten the same person from two different timelines where one clan succeeded and one clan failed? I don't know. Or is it metaphorical in so much as you just copied a lot of your techniques from the Aoi clan, which I'm a part of, or was a part of, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Again, we didn't explain it very well. I'm imagining there's going to be more Amon Zaimon content in the finale, which we're going to find out more there. I died, not physically, but mentally died. But one person denied me that death? My current master. Yeah, Princess Haite did some shit, and that's why you're around. I think that's what happened. Okay. And now I put my soul into following her orders. And yeah, then they just, again, have a ninja off. Okay, again, this is very confusing. But I think this is all teasing for the stuff that gets solidified over here when we talk with Kiki, right? So if I'm you and you are me, then we're fighting and none of us will win, right? There needs to be some kind of thing that's going to change the matter of the fight, right? Then there's this line, right? They were once friends with each other. They learned Nimpo from each other. They dealt and saw death beside each other. Like, what does that mean? I don't know, this shit's fucking weird. And then, yeah, Penguin throws the sword. That was a mistake. This is very Monogatari as well. And yeah, essentially the sword is unsheathed, and the pure poison infects Hor, right? Makes his eyes go all flamey and crazy, right? And then I don't know, why does he murder Amon Zaimon if that's the case? I guess he's just like out for bloodlust, right? He's just gone fucking mental. And then yeah, he chases down Penguin and goes to kill him as well. And then yeah, we jump to the scene we saw before. My prediction was correct. Hor did this to Penguin. Penguin's final words here as he fades out of consciousness are, "Please save Hor," right? Shichika's first words here, "Is this a trap?" It turns out it was. This was part of Kiki's kind of plan to get these two, to put him on the road, right? To make sure they find him and then get a confrontation there wherever that may be, right? Like, it's a bit of planting to get these two to a location where he wants them to be. Yeah, Ho'o-sama took the sword and headed for Iga, which is the village we go to later on. Iga is also where the Maniwa are set up, which is ironic considering that's where the secret services were also set up at a certain point. So that were kind of under their noses the entire time. So yeah, we spend a few days nursing Penguin back to health, and then we're going to put into action our plan and go after Hor, right? As he says. We continue to question the validity of all this, if it's a trap or not. Is this guy even really Maniwa? He doesn't seem like any of the other guys. Well, he's the youngest, he's part of the fish squad, but he's also the second most feared after Hor, right? His technique's actually pretty good, as we see later in the episode. I think they make their peace with it here in so much as, well, we need the sword anyway. We know he's got Dokuto Meki based on what Penguin's saying and the poison that may have been inflicted here, right? Well, we should just do it. Even if it is a trap, then we're still getting the sword, right? We still trust our combat abilities here. And yeah, negotiations with Ho'o and everything else with our little alliance there was pretty messy regardless, so, you know. I think this is an interesting scene too in retrospect and what the other characters do with Penguin, right? So in this whole show, I see there's been 3 major factions, outside of a few third parties like Nanami and stuff, right? 3 main factions. We've got our heroes, we've got Shichika and Togame, we've got the princess, representing authority and everything else, and Amon Zaimon's with that as well. And then we've got the Maniwa, which are the third faction here, right? And they're all kind of enemies with each other for various reasons, right? We've got a traitorous past with the Maniwa Corps, and they want our swords, so that involves some conflict. And then Amon Zaimon's clearly got some historical beef with them, right? Based on the destruction of his clan and his home and all that kind of stuff, right? So we're all antagonistic against each other. Our heroes here make the choice of leaving him alive, right? They're our enemy, but at the end of the day, he's like a defenseless little boy here. Let's not, like, murder him while we have the chance. Again, it feels bad to attack an unarmed enemy like that, right? Contrast this with later in the episode, where literally Amon Zaimon puts a gun in his mouth and pulls the trigger and blows his brains all over the floor. I think we're seeing a pretty marked difference between our heroes and our villains here. Again, I don't think our team has ever killed a Maniwa unprovoked, right? Komori definitely was evil. He was evil as fuck in that first episode. But yeah, kind of by the end of this episode, there's no more Maniwa left, which I guess leaves the heroes and villains and the third party out of it, I guess. Even maybe this strategian brain of Togame coming out here a little bit and saying, hey, well, we can kind of use this as a bargaining chip later on as well. Okay, this will be a good indicator. So they're heading towards the new Maniwa village. This is Princess Haite getting some information from Amon Zaimon. That's what you would think this is, right? But they're probably around Tokaido right now. So let me look that up. Yeah, kind of here? It's a very big area. Is it? I guess it encompasses the Iga province as well. Where's the Iga province? Yeah, it's near Iga. Weird. So they're kind of coming down this way via the coast? I guess we're near a water body at some point as well. Okay, weird. That's a very weird one. This is even more fuel for the fire of a few of my theories here. Like, okay, so my ancestor has powers that weren't even passed down to me. Well, you know that they're going to go and see your ancestor because you understand what Dokuto Meki is. And if you do that, then the ancestor's Kiki and all that stuff we were talking about, like, in kind of a weird tone last episode, now becomes more confirmed. Okay, weird. At the end of the day, like, he didn't really have that many techniques. He kind of just got beaten by the Kyotoru style thing. But also that's part of his plan because he wants Shichika to be completed, whatever that means. So now we're checking in with Shichika and Togame again. They don't want to go through Owari, but they're going to the Kansai region, which also encompasses Iga, and also a little bit of the Tokaido down the coast. So I'm thinking my geography makes sense. I know nobody else cares but me, but still. So yeah, and again, coastline here, we're seeing the water. This is the one scene where it's like really confirmed that something bad's going to happen, because it's a really lovely scene between these two and kind of wrapping up their journey in a way, right? Yeah, we literally go through all the locations we visited, being around the entire country and the journey we've taken, right? It's very epilogue. It's very, this is ending soon. And yeah, when we finish our sword collection journey, we can then draw a map of the whole country and sell it, because the coastline's been a little bit weird. There are plenty of maps based off sketchy measurements. This would be the first ever precisely drawn atlas of the whole country. That's pretty cool. And again, peninsulas and stuff. Capes. So Shichika's thinking the same thing I was thinking in this moment. You sound pretty assured about the 12th sword, right? Well, I'm pretty sure that Haite has it. If you think about it, Haite has been pretty proactive in this sword collection journey, right? Like, she should have a vested interest. And yeah, she does. She has one close by. Very close by. And given that Amon Zaimon has been going around killing Maniwa Corps, then logically he would maybe hold Enthor Jew. That would make sense. Again, this is like Togame being really smart the episode. It, in retrospect, it's probably a little bit cynical. She's very, very smart and like really like noble here. She doesn't have a bratty side this episode almost at all, really. And again, leading up to the tragedy that happens at the end of the episode, it really makes you feel like I was really enjoying Togame's presence this episode. So when she dies or is close to death, then I feel the same way Shichika does. That works for me. So again, by Haite holding this one sword, she hoped to do the same thing that the money were going to do, right? As long as they hold one sword, they hold a bargaining chip and can potentially take credit for the entire thing. And yeah, some ominous stuff here as well. When that woman makes her real move, it won't be pretty. Of course, the same goes for me when I make my real move. I don't think you're going to have the chance anymore, but I've been wrong before. And yeah, then we get to the kicker. Are you going to stay by my side even after this journey's over? And this is an important moment. So in the initial portions of this video, when I was making my predictions about the ending, I'm like, these two will conflict at some point because we never really brought up the point about the dads, right? And the history there and Hidetaka Hito and what he was actually doing. As I'm watching this finale, it turns out that I was on the wrong path there. I was barking up the wrong tree, per se, because really they put it all out in the open here. I don't care about you killing my dad, or your dad killing my dad, I guess. In actuality, you killed that guy, so I should like you even more. That makes sense. And again, there's more at play with the Hidetaka Hito Shichika's dad situation, right? Considering what Hidetaka Hito represented and what your dad represented and the completion of this weapon or whatever the hell, and then the isolation there. So there's more to that story as well. I wasn't wrong about the conflict arising around Shichika's humanity versus his sword-like nature. That's going to be a lot of next episode. Kind of overcoming this status that he is a weapon, right? And pursuing more of these human lines, right? Pursuing more of this emotional line. How does that manifest with Togame gone? I don't know, but that's going to be our climax. It's not going to be a conflict between these two. Rather, they've overcome their differences in this scene, and now they're going to be... It's bigger than that. It's bigger than these two, is my point. Yeah, Togame starts to get nervous here. Her kind of intonation in her voice changes a little bit. She's really being very vulnerable here, right? I don't want to hurt you the same way I've hurt a lot of other people in my life. I need your power. I need the peace I feel when I'm near you. So, Yasuri Shichika, I want you to be my trusted partner. Interesting. Yeah, and again, as I explained before, the father issue, not really a thing here. So yeah, Shichika agrees. At the end of the day, he did fall for her and all that, and doesn't really mind about anything else. He doesn't have anywhere else to go back to, so yeah, why not? Let's be together forever. And then yeah, excited Togame runs away. This whole time we've got almost like this old Hollywood tragedy music playing too. Again, the omens aren't good. The narrative even says here, however, they had no way of knowing that historically the end of any journey is the end of everything. The end of a story? Monogatari? Is the end of everything? Maybe. Does it continue after the story ends? Does it continue when there's no more content? Do the characters continue to live? There's a lot of my Monogatari speeches coming back out. Jesus. We cut that scene and flash over to Penguin having a bit of a nightmare about Ho-Oh and him being like evil and stuff. So yeah, he hops up, clearly better. Kind of Ho-Oh in the dream said he's Kiki, so that kind of, puts that in our heads as well. Which I think is the first mention of it, but it is the truth. Penguin doesn't have a very good opinion of Togame, which is largely based on his interactions with Komori, right? And that woman is rotten to the core. Do you think potentially this guy's a little bit sleazy? I don't know, maybe. Or is he not lying, and potentially Kyotoru has changed her a little bit and made her less susceptible to killing and stuff? I'd imagine Togame was a pretty bad bitch back in the day. Again, she hurts everybody kind of close to her. That's what she said in that scene before. And maybe Shichika, ironically, the sword has softened her up. I don't know, maybe. We don't have very much time to ponder on it because Penguin's about to fucking die. So again, in contrast to Shichika and Togame, Amon Zaimon finds Penguin in a pretty precarious spot and doesn't choose to spare him. You may be trouble for the princess down the line, so I might as well deal with you now, right? Like, if Maniwa Ho-Oh is in that state, then you represent the rest of the Maniwa right now. I'm still enacting my revenge on the Maniwa core. I'm going to kill you. So yeah, he shows no hesitation, starts to shoot towards him, and then Penguin's got some weird fucking abilities. Like, He's got a shield around him. You can't shoot him with projectiles. So my Nimpor is Fate Ruination or Unmei Kuzushi, sure. So again, projectiles don't work on him. Penguin the multiplier. Does the projectile matter if it's in his mouth and then he shoots? So he's got this weapon called a Ju-Q, which to my knowledge is a number, right? That's 19. Either way, it multiplies its kind of velocity through the air, I guess, when it touches other objects, right? So it's just kind of bouncing around and it's going to hit him eventually. And because he isn't susceptible to projectiles, Penguin's in no danger here. Amon Zymon says some shit here. Penguin, are you confident that the world will love you hundreds of years from now as they love you now? I'm saying that the fate of history is not something that can be so easily broken. And then he does some fucking bullshit, right? So essentially I'm going to explain now because it just explains it in larger detail later. He shot 2 bullets in various directions, right? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, something like that, right? The first bullet would kind of ricochet off the second bullet because the house is made of wood and fucking kind of canvas and whatever, right? So, like, it's not going to bounce off of anything. So I'm going to shoot a bullet into a certain spot, and then it's going to ricochet off that other bullet and hit Penguin. In that way, it isn't a projectile anymore, it's a ricochet. So it kind of beats his stupid barrier bullshit. Yo, and almost like, with this line, putting Penguin's kind of death in the hands of fate, if fate loved you that much, if you were meant to live and meant to be praised for the rest of time and be a figure in history, then those bullets wouldn't have, hit you. They would have rebounded towards me or something. In that way, I am destined. In this way, I will never fail, right? I'm afraid your luck abilities won't go any further than this. And then, as always, Amon Zymon asks for some final words. And then, yeah, those final words are pathetic. Camera shake, really well animated gun in mouth, and then blood splatter all over the floor. So a lot about legacy and being remembered in history here with Amon Zymon for sure. And again, if you were an important character in whatever history is, then you would have survived this. Also, I'm going to take the element of luck out of it with the projectile, and I'm going to put the projectile in your mouth. Try to luck out of that one. You can. Several days later, we come to a small village in Iga, right? This is the Maniwa village. And yeah, there's lots of dead people and destroyed buildings and stuff, right? It kind of demonstrates his power level, that being Ho'o coming back here and killing his whole village, the women and children too, right? He is able to do this. He is potentially even on the same level as your sister now. Probably not quite, considering she was cracked as shit, but, pretty close. It also shows that he's gone demented. He would never kill the Maniwa village. His whole reason for being is the Maniwa village. It's this corruption. It's whatever's taking him over. So yeah, Ho did this, right? He killed the village. It wasn't somebody else. Anyway, that's weird. Either way, Dr. Meki, right? And they start like yucking it up. I don't think they know the severity of the situation yet. Like, I don't know why they're yucking it up about some liquid sword. And then he finally starts speaking and it kind of sounds like Ho, but it kind of doesn't as well. And yeah, hello Shikazaki Kiki. He's back. He's got like a weird thing on the eye now, I think. That's like the distinguishing factor, maybe? Like weird thing on the eye, and then we show Togame's eye as well. Like there for a split second if I can find it. Yeah, there. There's some eye shit going on too, right? So the body is still Ho'o, but he's got kind of Kiki's personality, but also Ho'o's memories, right? Because he remembers Togame having longer hair because he hasn't seen her since she did have long hair, which I think was in the snow maybe. And then we bring in the Ho'o angle, right? So Dr. Meki, some kind of poison, right? A poison will eventually kill, but Ho'o's an immortal bird, right? So even if the poison is killing him, he can persist in this body. I think that makes sense. Also, the poison involving Shikazaki Kiki's memories is telling, right? Of what he's trying to do to the rest of everything else. Of what his personality is. Oh, and this is the gilding part. Okay, kind of like gilding over his own existence and letting it harden by taking in other people's existence. Like with this hand, specifically, because it's the hand that touched the sword. There's some weird shit going on here too, but it makes sense. So then we get into it, right? Togame's like, why did you lead us here? And then he's like, yeah, I did leave that body on the road because I have some foresight. Actually, I'm a soothsayer, right? We're going to get a translation of soothsayer, or an actual definition, I should say, right here in a moment. Yeah, literally a person that is able to foresee the future. That makes sense. So yeah, as soon as he was kind of infected with the Shikazaki Kiki stuff, right? I then had the foresight to know that you would use that road, so I planted Penguin there, and now you're here. That's how my plan worked. And here's another kicker. Actually, the Shikazaki family has been one of soothsayers for generations, implying potentially Haite may be similar. Togame continues to be a little bit skeptical about this. It would have been easier if it was just random coincidence. I need more evidence, right? But doesn't this also explain the blades, right? Aren't they impossible without this? And now I have 12 more examples, right? So he created thousands of deviant blades by reverse importing their production techniques he learned by looking into the future. So, he made a gun because he looked into the future and saw when guns existed and was like, shit, I can make like a gun now, and that's going to be my sword. Can you apply this to some of the other swords too? Maybe the armor, which is a very Western, almost medieval style armor? Sure, that works too. But yeah, he's bringing technology from the future to now, through being able to see the future. And that's why to us in this age they seem so special, but in reality they're just normal things from the future or other timelines or whatever the hell. At their core, deviant blades are just regular Japanese swords, except they also exploit physics and psychology, which is something that can happen in the future, I guess. Sure. So why did you create those swords, right? Fortune tellers are meant to just, give hints about the future. Why are you doing all this sword stuff? As it happens, my goal is to alter history, as is why I've been spreading these swords around the rest of the country, right? Or it may be easier to justify it as falsifying history. That has always been the goal of my family. Almost a chaotic goal, right? In order to overthrow the shogunate of the original history, right? We're rebellious in that way. So it's kind of ironic that Hida Takahito is being labeled a rebellion or rebellious person because of what he's doing, when in actuality he's trying to save the shogunate. That's a bit of irony there, right? Though personally he doesn't care for the politics of the time. Shikazaki Kiki's doing it for other reasons. The Itazura family, the Maniwa, and potentially even Togame were things that wouldn't have existed if not for this altering. And then we get the justification, right? My father gave his life for the sake of restoring the history you altered back to its original state. In that way also powering up the shogunate? And making sure the shogunate was still powerful? Okay. But again, Togame wouldn't have existed in the way Togame exists now, if not for those actions of Hida Takahito, which were only needed because of your actions. Okay, I understand that. And then we bring up Kyotoru. Are you trying to say that Kyotoru is the same? It wouldn't have existed if not for your meddling? It's like, no, it always would have existed, because you're a sword that I created after all. Kyotoru is the final blade, the perfected blade, the completed blade. Kyoto Yasuri, though the founder didn't complete it, the foundations were laid, and everyone of the generations kept building upon these foundations, and now you're very close to completion. So yeah, the founder of Kyotoru, he was my closest friend, but also he was kind of dumb, because he was only focused on swords, right? Kind of losing his humanity in the process almost. In that way, I'm kind of your dad as well, says Kiki, which is kind of crazy. Togame then says some lines that are like crazy as well, about like very meta about the story she's been in so far. Like, this is almost too cliched of an ending to meet with the founder right now. So in that way, I'm going to omit your name from the history. But isn't that also falsifying history in its own way? Which is, like, what are you guys talking about? We went 0 to 100 this episode. We really did. So then, yeah, we're finally going to fight now. He's going to use a sword technique from 150 years from now or something. So in this way, Shikazaki Kiki's almost already won, right? Because if you are able to kill me right now with your technique, it means you're close to completion, right? It also takes out Ho-Oh as well, because I'm just kind of inhabiting his body. And yeah, this looks kind of goofy. We repeat a lot of the same animation over and over again, but like, I don't know. I don't care. The show's interesting enough to like I just don't care. Just show me more content. I don't really even care about this fight that much. Little metaphor here of Dr. Meki and the poison spreading, killing the flower almost representing Kyotoru as a family as well. Shichika starts to get on top here a little bit, right? Like dodging all of his attacks and stuff. But the whole time, you're still just smiling. Again, I think this is part of the plan. Yeah, like here, right? Like here into like, again, if we wanted to load, right here. Weird. And yeah, Shichika Hachiretsu Kai, yeah, like a really wide smile as you're like dying. Not bad at all. Again, the completion of the blade is near. And again, okay, everything presented seems like that was the truth. But then there's this line, which is weird, right? Was that really Kiki? And then she's like, maybe Ho had just gone insane. I don't know. I think it's really him. I think that's how this works. We wouldn't have spent that much time explaining it and have it connect to the plot so well if it wasn't true, right? With Ho'o dead, Penguin's the only surviving member. They don't know, but he's already dead. Amon Zaimon would need to kill him anyway because he's in charge of internal affairs and they represent a rebellion. And anyway, they would be on a hit list no matter what. So as long as he's associated with the Maniwa, he would always die. But Togame's like, I kind of feel for him, and I kind of felt for those Maniwa at the village as well, the ones that had been slaughtered. Like, I'm still human in all of this. I've got some sympathetic bone in my body. Like, almost this whole journey has opened my eyes, right? I really didn't know anything. I've changed over the course of what we're doing. Maybe Shichika has been a positive influence, as was implied by Penguin earlier in the episode. And then, yeah, we say that's not like you to Togame, and then we head towards this scene. Now, there's not much really that revelatory here. Kind of just the thing happens, right? Yeah, hand in hand, we're going to take this final step on our journey and enter Owari and go find Hayate and steal her sword, right? And then we'll have all the swords, right? You're my trusted partner now. We're going to handhold in front of the representation of the end of our journey. And yeah, again, very epilogue-y. You've changed a lot over this journey too, Shichika, right? You've grown and learnt and all this other stuff, right? But yeah, here's our little metaphor. Holding hands. Amon Zaimon goes up the stairs. I didn't mean for that to rhyme in the way it did, but it kind of did. And yeah, hands get separated by Amon Zaimon. They literally get separated by Amon Zaimon here in a second as well. So Princess Haite has learnt who Togame is, right? And has literally sicked her guy on her because he now has the authority to do so. Because she's the daughter of a traitor. So there's going to be no repercussions here, if you know what I mean. Like, you can't just go around murdering people. There's going to be repercussions, especially if there's witnesses nearby and that kind of thing. But if she's branded a traitor, then no one's going to care. So her name's Princess Yorsha as well, as we learned. It's not Togame. I mean, this was implied, but sure. Yorsha also means permit. So, I don't know. I got nothing for you. And then, yeah, she gets shot. So, like, I don't know. Again, this was shown during the preview of episode 10, which is insane, or preview of this episode that was in episode 10. Again, which is insane. Why would you do such a thing? I don't know. I thought this was going to be a fake out because of it, right? Maybe it's because there's been so many fake out previews that they did something like this, but yeah, it just feels really, really weird. And again, because the show's so much about eyes, his eye colors have inverted now. He's going into like psycho mode, asking the strategian what her dying words will be as well, as he does to everybody. Again, everybody he's asked those words to has then ended up dying, so, you know, right? It was then that Kyotora was finally perfected and completed. The story of Katanagatari on this month and this evening ends here, and then he yells and goes all psycho mode, right? Cool. That is a lead into next episode. The preview here is also insane balls. Like, who are all these fucking freaks in the preview? I do not know. Like who are these people? Anyway, I should read this ED too. My body trusts in my heart. If I'm abandoned, I will continue to feel ruin. I show pity, our revived hopes until one of us perishes. Will be embraced, departed spirits adrift. If you are safe, tell me, my unreaching voice resounded. Sleep to the emptiness, clinging to words of indigo betrayal. My body trusts in my heart, I overtook the fight, like suffering from sad lies. I really don't understand the lyrics here. Like, they're fine. They're less direct, though, I think, right? I guess it speaks to somebody unlistening on the other side, perhaps, right? And a general feeling of melancholy. But other than that, I don't really have much. I won't forgive such cowardly determination. The hidden truth towards the hidden kindness. Continues to feel ruin. Let's show pity. And then yelling pity again. Yeah, a bit of a weird one there, sure. There's also some dialogue here. History, lies, Togame's narrating it, right? It's less like next time on type stuff. It's more like in-universe. So I guess I should read it. The successor must be human. That means you are the successor. All your history was a lie. Your history was certainly not a lie. Was the truth really true? Or was it absolute? That was all just a fantasy. I never believed in anyone from the start. I just wanted to meet you. And then that's the last episode of Katanagatari happening next week. Again, I want to say again, look at all these fucking freaks in this like preview, right? Like all through this section, like who are all these fuckers? Who are you? He's got the thing. Okay, they're different sword wielders. Yo, because he's got the one that was Akito Bita, I believe, the one with Nanami, right? Which has given him some fucking superpowers. He's also got like fucking swirly glasses or something. He's got fucking Anyway, this is fucking weird as shit. I'm gonna quit off now and stop rambling. What? Yeah, insane episode. As I've said, I've got a lot of theories about a lot of stuff. A lot of them will be confirmed or denied next week, so, like, I mean, just maybe leave it till then if you want to explain everything. But yeah, Kiki, very important. The idea of history, very important. The idea of whatever he was cooking with Kyotoru and his plan finally being completed, very important as well. Togame's fucking dead. She got shot with an AR-14. But other than that, we're peachy. So yeah, we're gonna have an emotional scene at some point next week about Togame's death, or there's gonna be some kind of divine intervention there. I mean, it's not like we don't have history powers and stuff, so anything's possible. I'm open to anything. Sure, do whatever. Uh, but yeah, I'll see you next week. Last episode. Look forward to it. But my shill stuff. So if you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation. Comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord. Join Discord. Love Discord. Discord. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next week for more Katanagatari weirdness, for sure. Catch you then. Thanks for watching. 1 second to last cheerio as well. Goodbye.